I have to start by saying what I always say: God, I'm a Don. God, I'm a boss. God is my general. And I always start my calls or trainings or anything like that because I know for a fact that the only reason why you're hearing my voice right now is because of God. The only reason I was even invited to be here is because of Him. If anybody on the call gets any type of value from anything that comes out of my mouth, it's because of Him. So how could I not just give me credit from the jump? So I definitely want to just, Father God, big up myself. Thank you so much. And we're network marketers, right? So we build teams. And the second reason why I'm here is because the team that we have built together. So I just want to shout out my team, catch up, big up myself, anyone today. None of you on the call, big up. If not, you watching the recording, big up yourself just the same. Right? And big ups and congratulations to all of you that are on here. You're the type of people that you believe in investing in yourself, and that's very important because to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, you have to become the person that you need to become. So kudos to you for taking that step. So everything is created twice. Everything is created twice. That car that you drive, the car that you love, that name brand that you're so fond of, that house that you're living in, it was created twice. First, it was created in the mind, in somebody's mind, and then it's created in the real world. And it's interesting because if I ask most of the people on the call what you don't want, we'd have a long conversation. You probably could talk for days. But if I flip the script and I ask you what is it that you actually want, the conversation wouldn't flow as freely. And if you think back to what I said first, everything is created twice, first in the mind, then in the real world. It kind of makes sense to know what you want. What you want seems to be quite important if you want to get it right. And we all know LeBron James. Everybody on the call, I'm sure, knows LeBron James. He's a basketball player. Some people would argue that he was the greatest. And some people know that Michael Jordan was the greatest, but we're not going to get into that right now. But anyways, he's a basketball player, LeBron James. What if I told you that I could guarantee that you, with my coaching, could beat LeBron James in the best of 10 in a free throw shooting competition? I guarantee you, with my coaching, after I'm done with you, you are going to beat LeBron James in a best of 10 free throw shooting competition. I guarantee that 100%. Provided that we blindfold LeBron James and we spin him around so he has no idea where the basket is. I guarantee you, under those conditions and my coaching, you're going to win that competition. And I kind of know what somebody's probably saying. Somebody said, Duey Saxton, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, how could we expect LeBron to hit the basket if he can't see it? They don't know where it is. And that's an excellent question. Just like this one. How do you expect to achieve a goal that you don't have? How do you expect to get the thing that you want if you have no idea what it is that you want? So you have to figure out what you want. As a matter of fact, we're going to do this thing interactive. I want you, if you have a piece of paper, it's like sometimes you guys have a book, write down what you want. Everybody write down what you want. All right, just drop it in the chat. Throw in the chat what I want. Let me see if I can see this thing. I want everybody just throw in the chat whatever you want. If you have a piece of paper, write on the paper what you want. Right, and I'm sure someone wants $1 million crown. Right? Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Write it on the paper as well. So, all right, so everybody at this point, I have you at least thinking about what you want. You know what you want. You know what you wrote down. You know what you put in the chat. The next thing I want you to do is cross out what you just wrote. If you drop something in the chat, forget about what you put in the chat. I want you to dream bigger. You don't dream big enough. If you read the magic of thinking big, it tells you it takes the same effort to dream big as it does to dream small. You have to dream bigger. Let me tell you something, guys. Your potential is God's gift to you. And what you do with that potential is your gift to God. And I'm telling you, if you're on this line and you're hearing my voice, you are here to do something significant. Even if you're not on the line and you're not hearing my voice, you're still here to do something significant. And let me ask you a question. If Steven Spielberg called you and he said, you know what, I'm doing a new movie and I want to go in a special direction this time. This is going to be a special movie. And I have so much confidence in you and your creativity that I want to give you a role in the movie. As a matter of fact, I want you to be the star of the movie. And I also want you to kind of choose your role, choose a role that you think you should have in the movie. And I want you to also decide how the movie is going to turn out. Right? I'm confident in you. You're so creative, and I know it's going to be incredible if I just give you these roles. Now think about that for a second, guys. Who would you be in the movie? Matter if I drop it in the chat, who would you be in the movie? And how would the movie turn out? Just throw it in the chat or write on the paper, whatever you want to do. And I know I probably hear a lot of incredible things. We might have some music stars, right? Maybe there's a top income earning network marketing. I know maybe we have a basketball player, and the movie would end. You probably get the girl, or you get rich, or you save the damsel in distress. I'm sure we'd have a lot of creative answers and a lot of great imagination. It would be it's I bet if everybody gave her their answers, it'd be a bunch of incredible answers. And that's lovely. And I wish I had the time to hear from everybody and to see who you'd be and how it turned out. But I'm not sure exactly how to say this. Spielberg's not going to call you. All right? I'm sorry. He ain't going to call you. If he hasn't called you yet, he's not going to call you. But before you turn into Debbie Downer, there is a director that's way more influential than Spielberg. There's a director that has way more power than Spielberg. There is a director that creates a lot more opportunities that Spielberg could ever create. And he has called you. And he is giving you a role in a movie. And you do get to choose the role that you get to play in the movie. And based on your thoughts and your actions, you also get to choose the outcome of the movie. And that movie I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is life. And not to be confused with that old flick with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. I'm specifically talking about your life. You see, the general met the call, and you get to choose the role, you get to choose the outcome. But it's unfortunate because we live in a world that could be compared to the land of the walking dead, where people just kind of float around. We live in a world where most people give up on their personal dreams, get a job, and help somebody else build that person's dream. We live in a world where people get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. And they do it over and over and over and over and over and over, like the energizer body keep going over and over and over again. Benjamin Franklin said that most people die at age 25, but we don't actually bury them until they're 75. And what he's really saying, if you think about that, is we get caught up into a rut or a routine, however you choose to label that. and we find ourselves on this hamster wheel. Is there anybody on the line that believes that that's how it was meant to be? Is there anybody that think that God put us on earth to just simply exist? Is there anybody on the line that feels like we are victims of circumstance? And if there is, I hate to contradict you, but I'm telling you that we're not victims of circumstance. We're victims of our choices. See, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're experiencing today, whatever is happening in your situation right now, it's a result of the choices that you have made. So now that we are aware of this, I'm going to recommend that you choose to dream. And when I say choose to dream, I mean choose to dream big. You remember when you were a kid? If you find a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old, they say, "Hey, Johnny, what you going to be when you grow up?" If I say, "I'm going to be an astronaut, I'm going to be a movie star, I'm going to be president." I asked my grandson what he was going to be. You know what he said he's going to be? A transformer doctor. I was like, yo, that's right, you're going to be a transformer doctor. You have to dream big. And when I say dream big, let me explain. I'm not saying if you're in network marketing, I'm not saying build a business that make an extra $1,000 a month. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that you should maybe open up a store, maybe a convenience store, maybe a little clothing store. That's not what I'm talking about. If you're in Jamaica, I'm not saying that get 2 cars on the road to run taxis or like extra income and come in. That's not what I'm talking about. See, ladies and gentlemen, your dream has to excite you. Maybe you want to make $1 million a year. You might want to make $1 million a month. Maybe you want to create an international business that spans the globe and generates billions of dollars. Maybe you just want to travel. You want to go to every crevice and every corner of this beautiful world. Your dream has to excite you. Because that excitement, that's what's going to keep you going when the doubt starts to seep in. The excitement is going to keep you going when you start hearing no here, you start hearing no over there, you start hearing no over there, you start hearing no everywhere. The excitement is going to keep you going when people start telling you that you're crazy. And when you start saying you're crazy, but you're not crazy. You're just destined to do great things. And I feel like I'm a mind reader right now because I can almost hear some of your thoughts. Somebody said, "Mr. Duey Saxton, that sounds good and everything, $1 million a month. I like how it sounds, but Duey Saxton, that is not realistic. That is unrealistic." And let's pause for a second. Aren't you tired of being around people that bring you down? Aren't you tired of being around people who criticize you? Aren't you tired of being around people who see you as you are today and not as you have the potential to be? So why is it when you come around somebody that tells you that, listen, you're great? Why is it when you're around somebody that tells you that you can achieve whatever you want? Why is it that you just naturally reject it? Everybody gets the opportunity to choose what they subscribe to. Everybody gets the opportunity to choose what they believe. So why do you choose to subscribe to unrealistic? Let me tell you what I think unrealistic is. Unrealistic is a lie that average people tell to justify their averageness. Think about it. Years ago, to flip a switch, and lights come on. Can you imagine how unrealistic that was? And I bet everybody in the school, we're so happy, we're so grateful that Thomas Edison, he did not subscribe to the lie. That's unrealistic. How about this one? A metallic vehicle flying through the air, and get this, with people in it. How unrealistic was that? And who on this call is happy that the Wright brothers, they did not subscribe to the lie of unrealistic? Touchscreen phones, Zoom, there's so many things. How unrealistic was that? So I get it. I get it. When we're talking about your life being like a box office hit, it's unrealistic. I get that. But we have an opportunity right now to not subscribe to that lie. See, because I remember, I think it was Harlan Stone Cipher that said that not all dreams come true, but dreams never dreamt never come true. So you gotta dream big. And once you got that big dream now, you gotta figure out why. Simon Singh says in his book, start with why. Why must you achieve these big dreams that you just came up with? Why? It's the most important thing. And let me kind of illustrate. If I threw a 100-foot plank, which is a foot wide on the ground, and I said, Amanda Carr, run across that plank and I'm gonna give you 10 US dollars. It will be the easiest $10 she has ever made. But if I put that same plank as a bridge between 200-story buildings and say, Amanda Carr, you know what? I step up the money. Run across the plank right now, and I'm gonna give you 100 US dollars. Amanda would look at me like I was crazy, like, I'm not running across that plank. But if she had children and they were on one side of the building and the building was on fire, she'd run across the plank for free, grab the kids, and run across the plank again for free. What's the difference? Her reason, her motivation, her why. See, ladies and gentlemen, accomplishing those big, lofty dreams that God put in your spirit is kind of like running across that 100-foot plank, which is a bridge between 200-story buildings. If your reason is not strong enough, if your motivation is not strong enough, you're not going to do it. So you have to figure out why. Once you figure out why, everything just kind of falls into place. Now, once you tone it, you're locked in on the why. You know why you're doing this. You know why you gotta go achieve that. You have to make a decision. You have to decide to get it done. And decide means to kill off. No other options. You have to make this thing happen. And while making the decision is cool, that's not enough either. Because listen, 5 frogs are on a log, and 4 decide to jump off. How many frogs remain on the log? Now the bright, intelligent, mathematical guys, they say, all right, obviously, Mr. Saxton, 1 frog is left because 4 decide to jump off, right? That's not very accurate. But actually, there's still 5 frogs on the log. And here's why. Making a decision to do something and actually doing it is two separate things. Deciding to do it and doing it is 2 different things. I mean, think about it. How many things have you decided to do? How many January 1st did you decide that, listen, I'm going to get in shape this year? I'm gonna save more this year. I'm going to lower my debt this year. How much decisions have you made that you did not follow through on? Deciding is good, but that's not enough. You have to believe that you get it done. You have to believe that you can get it done. So you have the dream, you figured out why, you made a decision, now you gotta believe that you can go ahead and do it. And let me just say this as we move forward. My name is Duey Saxton, and if you're hearing my voice right now, I believe in you. I believe that you're here for a purpose. I believe that you can do great things. I believe that God positioned you in this opportunity to leave an inheritance for your grandchildren's grandchildren. But unfortunately, my friends, when it comes to you and your situation, what I believe simply does not matter. I could tell you that you're the best thing since sliced bread. I can tell that you're not only going to be crown royal, you're going to be triple crown royal. I don't know if they have that yet, but that's what you're going to be. I can tell you that your great grandchildren, they're going to know you because of the impact you left in this world. But I'm sure everybody on the line would agree with me that if you do not believe my words are in vain. The most impactful words that enter your subconscious mind are those words that you say to you. So let me ask you this. What do you say to you? Do you tell yourself that you're going to be successful? Do you affirm to yourself that you can achieve all the things that your heart desires? Henry Ford said, and Confucius said it years before him, the man who thinks he can, or woman, the man who thinks he cannot, they are both right. And the first time I heard this and I understood this, I got super excited. If you're hearing this right now, you should be excited, especially if you understand this. So that simply means that all we really have to do is inspect what we expect. All we really have to do is be deliberate in the things that we believe, and we can achieve anything that we want. One of my favorite books, and I love sharing this, is Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And one thing that always grabbed me, I read it a couple times. Every time I read it, this one part, it does it for me. And he says this, he says, no thought lives in your head rent free. Every thought comes with either a cost or an investment. Every thought empowers you or it disempowers you. Every thought brings you closer to happiness or pulls you away from happiness. So choose your thoughts and your beliefs wisely, like your life depends on it. Because it does. Let me say what Henry Ford said again. The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he cannot, they're both right. And guys, you know, the most unfortunate fact about that particular fact is that I know that most people on this call would never ever accept this to be fact. Let me share with you guys some examples of the power of belief. In 1954, it was believed that the human could not run the mile under 4 minutes. You guys are probably familiar with the story. They say you couldn't run the mile under 4 minutes. It was impossible. If you tried it, your heart would stop. You would die. Now, this is what the experts were saying. The expert at the time, that's what they were saying. It's impossible. It cannot happen. Then came along a gentleman by the name of Roger Bannister, who in May of 1954, he did the impossible. He ran the mile under 4 minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, what makes this story even more intriguing is that 45 days later, somebody broke his record. Today, high school kids run the mile under 4 minutes. So let me pose a question to you guys. What made the impossible possible? I'm going to paraphrase Byron Traug, who is someone that I definitely respect and look up to. He says that when you believe you can, you do. When you believe you can't, you don't. In 1970, the weightlifting record was 500 pounds. The record holder at that time was a Russian weightlifter. His name was Vasily Alexiev. He had tried several times to lift 500 pounds overhead, right? He failed every time. He tried a bunch of times to get 500 pounds overhead and he failed every single time. Until this one particular meet where his trainer told Vasily that he is about to lift a weight he had lifted before. It wasn't until after the lift that Vasily found out that he actually lifted 500.5 pounds, a new world record. Throughout his career, Vasily went to lift as much as 650 pounds. Again, I ask you the question, what made the impossible possible? There is a gentleman by the name of Morris E. Goodman. If you watch The Secret, he is featured in that movie as well. At 35 years old, Morris Goodman was in a plane crash. Broke all his bones. His muscles was messed up. He was in the hospital, and doctors said that Morris could never walk again. Never. The experts. They also said that he would never breathe normally again. He'd always need a respirator to breathe. He was on a respirator at that point. Now, Morris understood in this instance that he had zero control over his body, but he had 100% control over his mind. Every single day, religiously, Morris E. Goodman visualized himself walking out of that hospital. He never allowed any thoughts that would deter him from achieving his goal to enter his mind. And ladies and gentlemen, 8 months later, Morris E. Goodman walked out of the hospital. This is a true story, y'all. Doctors had no explanation. The experts had no explanation. But Morris did. And he said, and I quote, "A man becomes what he thinks about." I said to open that talk. We said you have to dream big. So now that we have to dream big, I want everybody to just think about what you really want. The expanded version of what you want. The dream bigger version of what you want. I want you to think about that for a second and lock your mind into that for a second. And I want you to know that it's possible. It's possible for you to achieve that. It's possible for you to have that. And not only is it possible, it is necessary for you to achieve that. The fact that you have it on your heart, it's yours. It's already yours. You just have to believe it and go get it. But it only happens if you believe. So keep reminding yourself that you believe. And you have to do the things to cultivate that belief. Because think about it. Is there anybody on the call that there were things that you believed as a child that you might not believe right now? Is there anybody in the call that believes in Santa Claus? Is there anybody that still believes in Santa Claus? Your beliefs change. This is one belief that you cannot afford to change. This is one belief that you have to hold on. So you have to do the things to cultivate and maintain and increase and advance your belief. Birds born in cages believe that flying is an illness. Let me say that one more time. Birds born in cages believe that flying is an illness. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where they say that we're born to win, but we're programmed to lose. The systems that we're creating people, we're creating employees designed to create employees to put in the system to make sure that the system functions. Most people you know are like birds who were born in cages. Your friends who are not on this journey with you, they are birds born in cages. And when you have the entrepreneurial spirit, when you decide that you want to soar, you want to fly, your friends, they're gonna think something's wrong with you. They're gonna try to convince you to stop. You see, when you have a dream that's so big that it scares you, when you start to live in the future, when you see yourself as the top income earner, when you start living in the future and you realize that the future is where you want to be, the masses, they're gonna think you're crazy. They're gonna say, yo, them type of things don't work, man. I tried the juice thing before. I did the telephone thing. Them things don't work. They're gonna say, what's wrong with you? Go get you a good job. Matter of fact, you have a good job. Just get some overtime. Why are you spending money to go on them Zoom calls? Why are you spending money for all those trainings, man? They're just taking your money. They're brainwashing you. Birds born in cages believe that flying is an illness. The masses are going to reject what you're trying to do. But sometimes you just have to remember that sometimes the M in masses, it's silent. Dr. Miles Monroe says leaders choose their friends based on their destination. See, I'm from Jamaica. And in Jamaica, they teach no new friends. They teach don't get rich and switch, don't all these type of things that keep you in the same space. But see, you're the combined average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So not only do you have to avoid negative friends, you have to also actively pursue positive friends. You have to be intentional about your association. You have to be intentional about your circle because your life depends on it. So being around the right people, being around the people who are going in the direction that you're going. There's a saying, they say, change your friends or change your friends. And what that means is change your friends in regards to bringing them on the journey of personal growth and personal development. Or you have to change your friends and get a whole new set of friends. I know some people, you might feel bad about it. I understand that. I get it. But who are you going to be loyal to? Are you going to be loyal to this person who chooses not to grow, even though you invited them to come on the journey? They don't want to come. So are you going to be loyal to them and stay there? Or are you going to be loyal to the person who you are destined to be? Are you going to be loyal to the person who's going to create generational wealth for your grandchildren's grandchildren? My advice would be select the latter. So pay attention to the association. Nothing that what are you putting in your mind? Zig Ziglar says you are what you are. You are who you are because of what have gone into your mind. And you can change what you are. You can change who you are by changing what goes into your mind. What books are you reading? What audios are you listening to? What trainings are you plugging into? What seminars are you going to? Are you working on you? And one of the beautiful things about this network marketing industry is we teach people about personal development. See, most people, especially outside of the space, they have no idea that you're supposed to work on you. For many years, growth is almost automatic. From childhood to adulthood, growth is automatic. But most people don't know that after tertiary education, even during, growth is intentional. And your income is in a direct proportion to your growth. Jim Rohn says if we divide all the money in the world equally to everybody, if it's divided equally to everybody, after a while, all the money will go back to the same exact pockets. He also said if you get $1 million today, you better quickly become a millionaire. And that's the only way you get to keep the money. How do you do that? By reading the books. Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, Power of Positive Thinking, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, The Compound Effect. I could go on and on and on. But you have to be intentional about what you put in your mind. Your mind is like the soil. If you put poison in there, or you put corn in there, it's going to give you back what you put. It don't care what you put, but whatever you give it, it's going to give that back to you in abundance. So you have to be intentional about putting positive content in your mind by reading and listening. Zig Ziglar says, if somebody came to your house and threw a bunch of garbage in your living room, you probably go for your gun, you threaten to kill, you call the cops, you tell them, man, you better clean that up, and they would have to clean it up. And you probably be talking about it for weeks about that guy that came into your house and threw that garbage in your living room. But yet you allow people every day to put garbage in your mind. You have to read the books, you have to listen to the audios. And the third thing to cultivate these beliefs is your programming. What are you saying to yourself? I talked about it a little bit earlier when we talked about belief. And this is very, 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 very important. Because, ladies and gentlemen, see, when you are talking, you are listening. Let me say it one more time. When you are talking, there's no guarantee that anybody else is listening. Right now, I'm not sure if any of y'all are listening, but I know I'm listening. When you are talking, you are absolutely listening. And the most powerful words, like I mentioned earlier, goes into your mind are those words that you say to you. So you have to pay attention to what you say when you're talking to yourself. You have to pay attention to what you say when you talk about yourself. And the unfortunate thing is, if I was to say the things about you that you say about you, you want to fight me. You have a problem with me. But yet you accept it from you. And coming from you is more powerful than coming from me. So you have to train yourself to be the promoter of you. You have to train yourself to be the person that speaks life over your life. You have to be your biggest. They say self-praise is no work in the meditation in Jamaica. I don't know if they say it anywhere else, but that's garbage. You have to be your promoter of you. So you have to cultivate the right beliefs. And after we talk about the beliefs now, let's drop it in the chat. May I ask you guys a question? Who on this call believes that you deserve to be successful? If you're on the call right now, you feel that you believe, you truly believe that you deserve to be successful, just drop me in the chat. Just drop me. If you believe you deserve to be successful, drop me in the chat. If there's anybody on this call that believe that everybody deserves to be a part of a platform like this where they can achieve their dreams, drop me in the chat. If there's anybody in the call that you know for it, you believe without a doubt that this year coming up, 2021, is going to be one of your best years, drop me in the chat. And I love it. I love seeing the memes. I love all the memes coming in. But let me share something with you. All this belief and all this stuff, right? All these great beliefs is good. But none of that means nothing if you don't take action. None of the beliefs don't mean nothing if you don't get to work. It means zip if you don't put forth action. And RT has said this, I'm gonna share it back with you guys again. Why do I succeed? You can find this on the internet. He says, why do I succeed? I succeed because I'm willing to do the things that you're not. I'll fight against the odds. I'll sacrifice. I'm not shackled by fear, doubt, or insecurity. I feel these emotions. I drink them up and send them back to the depths of hell where they belong. My goals are bigger than my obstacles. My fear of regret is bigger than my fear of failure. My desire to live a life of significance is greater than my desire to live a life of ease. If I fall, I will get up. If I lose, I will return. I'll never stop trying. I'll never stop getting better. I'll never, ever, 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 ever give up. And that is why I succeed. See, a lot of people would take six-pack abs if they could just sit on the couch, eat potato chips, and just binge watch on Netflix. Everybody would take $10,000 a month if you could stay who you are, keep thinking how you think, and have the work level work ethic and discipline that you have right now. Everybody would take the opportunity to travel all around the world if we could just go by being who we are. See, success costs what it costs. And a lot of times we try to negotiate the cost. But you can't negotiate the cost. You have to pay the cost. The only thing that works, ladies and gentlemen, is work. This is network marketing. A lot of people miss out the work part. This is network marketing. And that's one of the unfortunate things about our industry. People come to the presentation and they see all the numbers and they hear the stories and they think that, okay, I signed for this thing and I'm rich. There's probably people on this line that think that. There's no such thing as sign up and rich. The only thing that works is work. Now, what's the work? Making phone calls. That's the work. That's a part of the work. Making a list of names. That's a part of the work. Do you have a list? Do you have a new list? Are you calling people in your list? How much people are you calling every single day? Are you even calling anybody every day? Following up. That's a part of the work. Are you following up with your people? Are you following up with your prospect? When you tell somebody this, okay, I'll call you Tuesday at 3:00. Do you call Tuesday at 3:00? Do what you say you're going to do? Celebrating and recognizing others, that's a part of the work. If you read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it talks about appreciation. And it says appreciation is the food for your self-esteem. And also people crave appreciation more than they crave even food. People crave appreciation more than they crave even food. You make sure that your teammate or your kid or your brother, you make sure that they eat 1, 2, 3 times a day. You never go a week without making sure that they eat. You would never go a month without making sure you wouldn't go a day without making sure that they eat. Well, yet you go weeks and months without giving appreciation. And that's one of the beautiful things about our model is edification and celebration. Appreciation is it's a part of the process. Celebrate what you want to duplicate. Somebody need to write that down. Celebrate what you want to duplicate. When somebody gets added to the group, when a new member gets added to the group, are you that person that welcomes them? When somebody hit rank or somebody put in a sale and they drop it in the group, are you the person that celebrate them? Are you that person? Because if you're not doing the work. Celebrating and recognizing others is a part of the work, because when you put someone in the group, you want the whole group to shout them out, right? Well, it starts by you being that person. It's a part of the work. Getting uncomfortable. That is a part of the work. Right now, if you're in my company, we're going through some things. And a lot of people are uncomfortable. A lot of people are unhappy. Some people are happy, but getting uncomfortable is a part of the work. And as you've heard many times, there is no comfort in your growth zone. And there's no growth in your comfort zone. The reason why you're the level you're at right now, the reason why I'm the level I'm at right now is because I haven't gotten uncomfortable enough to go to the next level. You haven't gotten uncomfortable enough to get to the next level. Get it uncomfortable. That is a part of the work. Attending and promoting events. That's a part of the work. That's a major part of the work. Are you registered for the next event? That's great. How much people you got coming with you? How much people did you bring to the last event? Do you have more people coming to the event this next one? How much people you call to promote the event? When you bring a new person in your team, do you tell them the importance of going to the event? Or are you scared to talk to them because they just spent money and you don't want to ask them to spend no more money? Promoting and attending events is a part of the work. Having faith, that's a part of the work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a faith walk, not a walk by sight. This is a faith walk. I'm going to share one of my favorite stories. There was this farming village. And, they were doing pretty well for a while. Then a drought hit. They weren't getting in the rain. There's no rain. Now they're starting to worry because, they're depending on the crops and all this stuff, right? There's no rain. So the elders said, all right, listen, we're going to meet up in the square Monday morning and we're going to pray to God for rain. So Monday morning came and everybody in the square, the whole town in the square, ready to pray to God and ask him for rain. But there was something very interesting about that day. There was only this one little 10-year-old boy who brought an umbrella. Now keep in mind, these are God-fearing individuals. These are people of faith. And they all meet up in the square to pray to God for rain. But nobody brought an umbrella. Only the one little boy, 10-year-old, he brought an umbrella. I ask you a question. Who in that group believed that God was going to give them the rain? Who in that group are you sure had faith? And it's interesting because they're farmers. And farming itself is a business of faith, is a industry of faith, because you plant the seeds, you water and till the soil, and you hope. You have faith that when it's time to harvest, there will be something there. But yet these people of faith go into the fields and ask God for rain, and nobody brought the umbrella. Having faith with expectancy is a part of the work. Are you the person that asks God to help you to get to the top of the company? Are you the person that asks God to help you achieve your goals? And if you are, do you believe it's going to happen? Do you have faith? And you will say, yes, I'm sure. But let me tell you how we can tell if you have faith. Your activity. The Bible says faith without works is dead. And what it means is if you have the faith, you do the work. If you don't have the faith, you don't do the work. So it's easy to come on here and say, yeah, I have the faith. Yeah, ask God. He say, yeah, I believe. Yeah, but what are you doing? Are you doing the work? See, the work is what's the word I'm looking for? The work is displaying your faith. So having faith is a part of the work. So if you do these things, ladies and gentlemen, if you dream big, if you decide why, you make a decision, you believe that it's possible, and you put yourself in an environment that cultivates those beliefs, you're going to win. And you're going to win at a high level, not only in network marketing, but in life. And Jim Rohn says something that I love. He says, and you guys may have heard this before, he says, service to many leads to greatness. And ladies and gentlemen, we're a part of the industry that offers us the opportunity to serve a lot of people. I know as I was wrapping my mind around this service to many leads to greatness, service to many leads to greatness, I realized that I was looking at service to many in the wrong context. And here's what I was thinking. I like service to many leads to greatness. I'm saying, okay, I have to be a part of like a international organization that's impacting all type of people all around the world, and that service to many. And you know what? I'm right. I used to think like, okay, I need to align myself with some type of charity that does charity work in different parts and just touching a lot of people and service to many. I was right. And you know, impacting a lot of people, that's obviously service to many. But you know what I realized? If I call somebody, and let me just ask you this before I even say what I'm about to say. When's the last time that you called somebody, you just called somebody, and you said something like this: "Hey, Mr. Jones, brother, hey, yo, I just wanted to call you and tell you, man, that you know what, sir? I really, really appreciate you. You are a great example. I appreciate all the hard work you're doing. I appreciate the mentorship. I appreciate just giving the opportunity sometimes to call you and learn from you, man. You are such a blessing to the community. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I'll talk to you later." When's the last time you made a call like that? Have you ever made a call like that? I want you to think about that for a second. Mr. Jones just got that call from you randomly out of the blue. And let's say he's at work. First and foremost, how does Mr. Jones feel? He feels pretty great, right? So let's say Mr. Jones is at work when he got that phone call. And let's say he's a carpenter. Do you think Mr. Jones is a better carpenter that day? Let's say Mr. Jones is a teacher. Do you think he's a better teacher that day? And another thing, how do you think you feel after you make that call to Mr. Jones? And I realized that that service, if you just talk to somebody and you get a smile on their face, a service. If you call and encourage somebody, a service. When you forgive, and there's somebody on this line that you have to forgive. Let me tell you something. Unforgiveness, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. Say it again. Unforgiveness, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. See, you cannot reach your full potential by holding on to negative energy. You have to forgive. Some of you first, you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. That's gone, that's over with. And when you forgive somebody, it's not for the other person. Some people say they don't deserve forgiveness. That's God's word. That's not your decision to make. When you forgive somebody, it's for you. It's what it does for you. So I hope one person that's hearing my voice right now, forgive. Let that go. Quit blocking your own blessing. But when you call and forgive somebody, that's service. That's service to you and that's service to them. And it made me realize that service to many not only leads to greatness, where service to many leads to happiness. Service to many leads to bliss. Service to many leads to joy, fulfillment. Ladies and gentlemen, service to many leads to immortality. Bob Marley. Bob Marley lives forever. Eric G said at a training, he said that we die 2 times. We die first when they put us in the ground for the first time. And the second time, the last time somebody calls your name. Bob Marley will live forever because of his service to many. Martin Luther King, he's going to live forever because of the service to many. Mother Teresa, she lives forever because of service to many. Service to many leads to immortality. Guys, we have a platform in this industry to serve so many people. We have a platform in this industry to impact the masses in a positive way. We have a platform in this industry to teach and to encourage people to dream again and let me know that those dreams will come true, but you have to believe it first. I don't know about y'all. I Duey Saxton. I plan to live forever. Who's with me?